Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis for Sunday, July 9th. All right, we got a lot to get through. I mean, I had a pretty long weekend. Those of you that follow me on Twitter saw the pictures. Oh wow, should I just go to Twitter? I actually had the most popular tweet ever when I put together all of my Bitcoin gear. And I sent out the picture because I think I sent it out. When did I do this? Friday or Thursday? I did it because it was all in my house. And then early Saturday morning, I drove it all up to Pennsylvania to my cabin in order to set up, the mining equipment and the full node and set everything up that weekend. And of course, I ran into a bunch of trouble. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I'm at 93 viewers right now. I'm sorry for doing this video late. I just got home about 30 minutes ago. I didn't really want to do it from up there because I had the whole family there and stuff, and it was very difficult. It was never quiet at any point, and I wouldn't have been able to, patiently shoot this video. So I decided to come home, do it later in the evening. We'll see if this works better. People in Asia are probably just waking up, and people in Europe will wake up in about 3 hours, and all the info will be fairly fresh. People on the East Coast can still watch it, and people on the West Coast, it's a perfect time for them, being around 6 p.m. So this time might actually not be too bad. Sorry for you guys over in Europe. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this stuff after I go through the traditional markets. So my website is no longer up to date. I am missing Friday's Bitcoin group. I will go ahead and add that. And then this week, I will write my article about time. I will write about the significance of what I think for August 11th and some of the other dates. And I was hoping to also write up a manual on how to set up a miner and how to prepare for the user-activated soft fork. Unfortunately, I am incapable of writing that because I'm still trying to set up my miner. Anyway, I'll talk about that after. All right, let's go through the traditional markets. Also, my new computer has shown up, and I'm actually reordering it. I can never get anything right. It's another reason why I have absolutely no free time. You see the Lenovo box behind me, the red box right there. I am using the new laptop. I realized that I did pay $2,600 for this machine, and I went a little bit cheap on the resolution of the monitor, and that was a mistake. So now I will pay the 15% restocking fee, and I am reordering another computer. So all in all, my new computer is going to cost me over $3,000, and no, it's not a Mac. It's gonna still be a Windows machine. All right. Yeah, so let's just say this has been a very frustrating weekend with everything. All right, here are the traditional markets. Also, my screen. Oh wait, I'm not even sharing screen yet. Man, sorry guys, I'm tired. This was my most popular tweet I ever sent, like I said, I drove all of my equipment up to Pennsylvania, and I was not able to set everything up. So hopefully next week I can go back there, assuming I find the time, because if I don't find the time, I will not be set up for August 1st, because I do have to go to California the week after that. So we'll see. But I do need to get this done, right? I mean, your life's about priorities. So let's see what kind of priorities I will have over the next week. All right, and here's my website. Again, I just got to add this Friday's Bitcoin group, and then I'm going to start writing the article. Here are the traditional markets. I am using a new computer, so I no longer have any memory problems. But like I just said 10 minutes ago, I'm waiting for a new version of this computer, and I'm going to send this one back. And that transition is going to cost me, several $100,000, not thousands. All right, and like I said, I am a little tired. It's been a long weekend. It's already late. I'll try and get through this quickly. my screens look a little bit weirder than usual because, like I said, I'm getting used to a new laptop. All right, still in this box. We had another bad day in the stock market on Thursday. The drop below the box closed under the 50-day moving average, but we've also done that here. Oh, I don't have my little circle anymore. Damn it. All right, hold on. I'm also completely new to Windows 10. I've never used it before. I couldn't find anything on this thing. But by the way, I was ready to like send the computer back because my most used application was not there, and I don't even see it here. MS Paint is like my most used application, as you guys know that follow me on Twitter. And it took me like 3 hours to figure out how to get MS Paint on Windows 10. So that was not a fun experience either. Hold on a second here. Is it screens or is it devices? Damn. Devices, mouse, additional mouse options, pointer options. There. Okay, good. Got it. Apply. Okay. Close. All right, got it. Got my little pointer. All right, so we closed below the 50-day moving average right here, and then the next day we dropped, and then we went back up. So we're closing below the 50-day moving average again. The 50-day moving average has been has done a reasonably decent job holding up the price, and we're going to assume that it's going to do that again. The price is back in the box. You know, for these kinds of events, when you fall out of this box, you really need a lower open and lower low intraday. And that didn't happen. We went back into the box. So because we went back into the box, it's back to the drawing board. And I'm still sticking with this arrow. And I still think that this is not the all-time high in the S&P 500, and we're going higher because markets don't top like that. And you can watch previous videos of me talking about that. Here's the weekly chart. And again, we're staying above the previous high, which looked a lot closer to a high than anything we had on these weeks. And let's see if we can bounce off of it once the summer ends. It would have been nice to get the momentum indicators, you know, down, but it's okay. We don't have to. We're in a bull market. So you're in a bull market, you stay in a bull market. Let's close that. All right, gold. You know what? Let's look at this after. Here is the daily look at gold. And I think the last time I did this video was on Wednesday, and I was talking about how ugly gold looked. And then on Thursday, like the bottom just dropped out. And we are now lower than this low. We are now approaching this low. And the moment we get to this low, there will be a double bottom on the daily chart. And unless the weekly completely contradicts it, this low is not going to hold. And now we're going to go down to the, you know, towards the 1115 low. It's possible we can bounce somewhere in the middle, but there's absolutely no, it's just empty air. It's just like a giant gap. I mean, gold could have been shorted at so many points all throughout. I've just been so busy with the user-activated soft fork to even consider trading gold to the downside. But if I was trading gold at any point, of course I would have been trading it to the downside. Your RSI is almost oversold, so that means it's due for a bounce, but that bounce won't last. The MACD still has plenty of room to go down. So let's see what happens. Let me zoom in. Oops, zooming in the RSI here. Let me zoom in. Let me drop the momentums. Let me throw my numerics on there. All right, so interesting. Ah, check that out. Oh man, my arrow's in the way. That was a perfect arrow. I'm gonna slide it over a little. I don't even know where to slide it. Slide it there. Shoot, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the new box. All right, so that's a 9. That's a red 9. Good thing I threw the indicator on. Okay, so so we had a red 9 right here, but then we never even had a 1 to 4 candle dead cat bounce before going lower, and it just went lower, and it almost made a second 9 here, but it didn't. And we made a 9 right here, went down. This was tradable, by the way. On this 2 right here, on that 2, right here at a price of 1271, this was a straight up short. And on this 9 right here, it was a take profit, wait for a 1 to 4 day pullback to the upside, 1, 2, 3, and boom, on the 4th day we dropped, but there was no sell indication yet. But right here on this 3, no, my bad, on this 2 right here, on this 2 at a price of 1246, there was a short play right off this indicator, straight up the indicator, asset irrelevant, straight up indicator. You go short on this 2 right there. Again, if I was trading and not making videos and not caring about the user activated so forth, this is probably what I would have been doing, should have been doing anyway. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So it was a short right here on the 2. I think I would have mentioned it in prior videos if I turned this indicator on. But today is the 9. That's today. This is today's candle. It should be moving around. This is today's candle, but this candle is gonna go on all day into Monday. So this is the Sunday night / Monday candle. And this 9 is telling you to take some profit. It's telling you to take some profit. It's going to be a perfected 9. There's a chance this won't be a 9. There's a chance this will be a green 1, but that's going to happen only if today's close is above 1224, and right now we're at 1210. So it would have to go above 1224, which is possible, but we're at 1210 right now. So this candle is telling you to take some profit from the short trade. It's also telling you that once this 9 was made, you had, see this 1 on the bottom, and then 2, 3, 4. This is going to go on until it gets to 13. Well, it should go on until it gets to 13. So there is a reason for you to stay short. This is known as the countdown, and this is known as the setup. So the setup initiates the countdown in the same direction after a 1 to 4 week bounce, which is the common element. So right now, after this 9, we can foresee a 1 to 4 candle. Not week, days in this case. We can foresee a 1 to 4 candle dead cat bounce, and then it's going to resume an additional countdown. It could, it doesn't have to. This 9 could also lead to a total reversal, but I highly doubt it. Or we're not even going to pull up. We're just going to keep going down really, really quickly. So, but it's a 9. Anytime you see a 9, it's a, take profits on your winning trade and wait and see when it tells you to re-enter the short trade or it has reversed to the upside. But that's how you play the 9s. All right, everyone's learning about this indicator from me these days. All right, I think I have it on prematurely on this one as well. Let me turn it off. Okay, so that was the daily gold. Here's the weekly gold. Let's zoom this out. Again, I'm not used to this resolution, guys. I'm not used to these dimensions. I'm clearly not a huge fan of change in certain things. Here's the long-term view of gold from the all-time high in gold. This trend line ain't going anywhere, guys. It's been a problem for gold in forever. and it's going to remain a problem for gold for a while. So there it is. And it was a short every time it hit the trend line, an absolute short. Now, this upward trend line has a chance to bounce gold, but I highly, highly doubt it. But we'll talk about that bridge when we get to it, okay? Momentum down, nothing positive. Absolutely nothing positive. The chart looks absolutely ugly. The asset is irrelevant. We are just talking technicals and candles. No fundamental analysis here. Again, I have to reiterate, it's irrelevant if gold is manipulated, if gold is not manipulated. We are talking straight up candles, and the candles are telling you that all of this support just got busted, completely busted. You have last week, the huge downward candle closed near the low at a Fibonacci line, and this week already starts off going down. So I wouldn't be surprised if by end of week we're sitting like at 1180 at the bottom of the trend. I wouldn't be surprised at all. This red arrow is totally in play. There's like, I'm trying to be reasonable here for gold bulls and gold bugs, which I used to be. And I'm sorry, guys, I see nothing. I see absolutely nothing. I see nothing positive in gold here. Maybe your numerics will help. I doubt it, but I mean, no, you're on a 5. So according to this indicator, which told you to like take your profit right here on the 9, on the green 9, told you to take your profit, wait for a 1 to 4 candle pullback, and then start the countdown. But you see how this countdown only made it up to 7? The moment this hits a bottom 9, this countdown would have failed. I mean, that's just weak, absolutely weak. We're on a 5. So this 2 was a sell right here. Boom, this 2 was a sell. This 2 was also a sell, but this would have been, you can't win every trade. Let me drop the, make it bigger here. This 2 right here was a short right here, and that would have been, a very losing trade, pretty bad one actually. But it would have totally made up for it right here, because this would have been a short again. Right here at 1250, it would have been a short, and right now you're down at 1210, and it's only a 5, and you're waiting for the 9. So there's still plenty of room if it completes. And if you took on this trade, I mean, it's up to you where to it's up to you where you set the stop loss. But if I was through this trade, I would have gone short right here at 1225, and I would have covered somewhere on this 1, somewhere on this day. I would have covered. I would have. I don't know where on the day, right? So I would have covered. Could have been at the end of the day, all the way at 1280. Could have been, at the bottom of the day at 1260. I have no idea, but I would have covered on the green 1. That's where I would have known that trade was a total mistake. I probably would have known a day earlier, but I'm kind of stubborn when I trade, so I probably would have held till the green 1. So this would have been a bad losing trade, but I would have gone back in on the short right here, and I'd still be short. All right. So people ask me to talk about silver. I haven't looked at silver in a long time, by the way. I don't know when the last time I looked at silver was, but the last time I talked about silver, this is daily chart of silver. I can't believe what happened on Thursday. Jesus. I'm just going to extend this trend line. So silver's trend line, not from all-time high, but the recent trend line, it looks like it wants to go down. I mean, this is still a downward sloping trend line, right? Now, in reality, what you want is when you break the trend line, you want to come back and test the trend line and go up. You don't actually want to come back and test this trend line. Like, you want this trend line to now hold up your price. But instead, it gapped right through it. Gapped right through it, right? So that's it. So this trend line is useless. Gone. Okay? And now if it's going to go back down, look, you're already lower than this low. I mean, you're not as low as that. So, I mean, we can take a look at the numerical indicator here, see if we're on the 9 or not, see if, you know, Thursday or Friday was a 9. Sorry, that's a Friday candle. See if Friday was a 9. Let's see. Nope, not a 9 yet. So you had a 9 here. So you're working on a countdown. You're only at a 9 on the bottom, looking for 13. This is a 6. So you're still looking for 3 more days, right? 7, 8, and 9. So daily silver, there was a short play right here on the red 2. It's an orange 2, but in reality, it's a bearish red 2. So I don't know why it's yellow here. Maybe I have 2 versions of the indicator. So on this yellow 2 right here, this was a short. And you're still short silver. So let's see what happens. See what happens. Still short based on this indicator, looking for a 9, looking for a 13. And then there's a potential for a bounce based on this indicator. All right, weekly silver. Oh man, I don't know when I drew these arrows. I must have, the last time I looked at silver had to be a month ago, right? So that's when I drew these arrows. And this just looks bad. I mean, look, I know I'm going on and on again with these things, but I love my triangles, guys. I haven't drawn my triangles in ages. You know, like this. Love my triangles. These triangles are very, very bearish. No, oops. I can draw these things all day. I can draw them all day. You know, all day. They're just everywhere. Absolutely everywhere, even like up there. So look, so it's just, you know. I'm blocking my horizontal trend line, but it's okay, right? So I drew this arrow a month ago, and I said, look, the moment you fall below this trend line, it's going to get ugly, real ugly. And there we go. You know, here's your weekly chart of silver. Boom, fell. There's your double bottom. This is your decade low. Is that the decade low? My God. Yeah, that's the decade low. Shit. Yep. The last time you were this low was 2009. Holy crap. Wow. And we're in 2017? Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is bad. And I have silver. I have a bunch of silver. What a stupid move that was in hindsight. So, so the decade low in silver is right there. What do we got here? $13. And we're at 15. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be buying silver at 10 bucks, guys. I mean, that's what I'm looking at, right? Because if it gets back to 13, it's a double bottom, and I can't possibly, like, technically it can't hold for me, right? Like I have to call for a short in silver at that point. I just, like, technically speaking, and you just broke below the triangle, right? So, I mean, you had enough points. There's a point here, right? Point there. So what do we got on the height of the triangle? Price range. What are we looking at here? What is that? About 480? 475? You know? Where am I drawing here? So what's 475? Oh man, I can't even draw it that low. Jesus. 475 right there. You know? Look. There it is. I mean, I don't know if it's going to reach it or not, but that's your target. That's your target. That's your triangle target. I mean, it even broke earlier than I would have expected it to break. And I would have expected it to, like, you know, kind of bounce around a bit more, but we broke. Yeah, not good. Not good for my silver coins. All right, so this didn't work out according to plan. So this is the gold-silver ratio, and whenever it reaches like 80, it's usually a good time to short gold and buy silver. And whenever it falls down to 50 or below, it's usually a good time to buy gold and sell silver. So what I said was, this ratio started to go down, but in my mind, gold and silver didn't actually bounce. Oh, I see someone's asking me a question in the chat. Where do I buy my gold and silver? I actually have a coin store almost walking distance to my house where I'm sitting right now. So I'm lazy, so I don't feel like walking for 15 minutes. So I would like take a 2-minute drive, 3-minute drive, and I know the owner of the store, and I might actually do a podcast with him, and we'll talk about gold. He was like a Max Kaiser fan, and like even like Reggie Middleton fan, but like I've known him for a while, since like 2010, 11, whenever I started buying my gold and silver. So I got to know like the store owner, and he's about my age too, a little bit older. And yeah, so I literally buy my gold and silver right near my house, right there. So okay, so here's the thing, right? So when this ratio started to fall, I was famously saying that, well, it's a good time to short your gold and buy silver. But I expected both of them to fall. But the ratio was telling me that gold was going to fall more than silver, which isn't normal. Silver usually falls more, and on the way up, it goes up faster. So Andy Hoffman actually reached out to me and called me an idiot, and apparently he was right. He said that there is no way this ratio would fall while both gold and silver are falling in price. Because what I was saying was gold and silver have not bottomed for the decade. They're going lower. That's what I kept saying. But the ratio was also going to go down. And he basically said that has never happened in history. That's not going to happen. If this ratio is going to go down, that means silver and gold both are going to go up, and silver is going to go up faster. And I said, well, we'll see. So it looks like I was wrong on the ratio, but I wasn't wrong on gold and silver continuing to go down. So let's see what happens. Maybe this isn't the high, and maybe we're going to make a new all-time high all the way up here if silver, let's say, falls to $10 and gold falls down to, say, 800, right? So I honestly thought that it would be possible for silver and gold to both keep falling and the ratio to keep falling. It looks like the ratio is now rising, which means that it makes more sense for gold and silver to fall. And it looks like silver is falling faster than gold, like it normally does. And then when this thing is really ready to reverse, and by the way, double top will probably work the same way here. Like, because this ratio never came all the way down to a buy zone, and we make it back to the red line, it's possible we're going to go to like 90 or whatever it is, right? So this ratio could actually like go way higher. So let's see what happens. All right, I think I spent enough time talking about gold and silver. Oh man, I just closed that silver chart. I don't think my triangles will save, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. All right, I don't even talk much about oil lately. I mean, it's in my downward sloping channel, so let it keep going. I mean, there's nothing to say on oil, really. I mean, it's in this channel. and it's a weekly chart. And overall, I'm remain bearish on oil. I am short-term bullish the euro now, only because of technicals. I mean, when the euro didn't collapse here and it went above the 50-day moving average, I became bullish the euro, and it has a little bit of a life left. I wouldn't risk going long, and then I'm expecting a complete collapse. Oh, I don't care for that. Okay. All right, Bitcoin. So yeah, let's talk about the technicals of Bitcoin first. Hey guys, thank you for your donations. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Just under 300 viewers, a little lower than average, and oh yeah, I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, I know. Control-Shift-T brings me the tab back. I know that. I use it all the time, but I didn't bother. I don't think Rich is around to help me out with questions. So please do not ask me any questions yet. I will give the queue for questions, and then I'll take a look at your questions, and hopefully I'll be able to read them quickly in the live chat. So the weekly chart of Bitcoin is not scaring me. It is not in a bubble because altcoins are up 20, 30, 40 times, and Bitcoin is only up 2x for the year. So it's really not that big a deal, right? So the good stuff is after you zoom in. Here's the weekly chart. I mean, look at that. Doji, 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 and the week just started. Bitcoin is in a major area of indecision. Major area of indecision. I'm going to throw on the numerics. So once again, the 9 right here told you to take your profit, and the 1 right here told you to get the hell out and go to cash on a weekly chart. Now, the 2 didn't tell you anything. It did not tell you to short the asset. It needed to close below the purple line to put you in a short trade. Now this line's going to move. It's going to move right there. The low of this candle is 24.62. Oh, perfect. I'm only off by 25 cents. Done. So now, if this week it goes below this line, the indicator will tell you that Bitcoin is a short. Okay? So it's getting tight. It's getting tight. Now, of course, you have to be crazy to short Bitcoin. I would never short Bitcoin. But it can tell you to, put some of your position into cash and wait for a better buying opportunity. That's what it would tell me. This one made you take the rest of your profits from this 9 trade, which would have entered you right here. So your entry would have been at 12.30. One of your exits would have been sometime on this candle, and the rest of your position should have exited right here on the 1. Based on this indicator alone, that's it. So now, what do we need? So we go back 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if this week, what's the bottom of this candle? The bottom of this candle is 25.17. 25.17. 25.17. We got to close above this line in order for that red 3 to be a green 1. And if it is a green 1, then everything resets back to cash, but we're already in cash, right? So these are your 2 lines. So we're very, very tight. So below this purple, the long-term play is telling you that there's going to be trouble. If we close above this green line, and we're right on it, near it, we delay the short play. Like this purple goes away. If we close this week above the green, this purple goes away. And if we trade below the purple and you do enter the short trade, but then you pull back up and you close above the green, you then take your losses and you get out of the trade. That's what this indicator is telling me on the weekly candles. Very important, weekly candles. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to use Control-Shift-T because I didn't mean to close that. All right, this is the Bitcoin Liquid Index. I like the fact that the MACD has pulled all the way down. The RSI has almost pulled all the way down. And we are at the 50-day moving average, getting ready to bounce. I really didn't like this cup and handle, but that's okay. I mean, again, Bitcoin is very tricky to call short. It's very tricky to short in general. We made a slightly higher loop, and we're back flirting with the 50-day moving average. So anything goes. Here's the daily chart. I don't know what that line is anymore. I'm going to drop it. Okay, so we broke above this triangle, and we were coming back to this triangle. So, I mean, look, Bitcoin is in a major consolidation stage because of what's going on with August 1st and the user-activated soft fork and SegWit 2x. And I am really getting sick of it. I really, really am. It's very frustrating. It's a very frustrating environment right now, but the price is holding. The price is in a state of total indecision. And if the price doesn't know what to do, then we don't know either. So we're at the 50-day moving average. It's a support point. It's been a support point in months now. And on the last Bitcoin group, for the first time, I said the price of Bitcoin 1 week later is going to be the same. I'm expecting complete indecision the rest of the week. I'm not expecting much. If we close below the 50-day moving average, we have support at the tip of the triangle, which I can probably extend a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe I can't. We have support of the bottom of the triangle and this horizontal support. And then we also have this green line, which is support. And then we have Fibonacci's right here. And then we have this purple line, which is, there's just like so much support in this area. I know if you have a 20x leverage position, it doesn't matter. You know what? I really hope I was using my high-end mic. If not, then your sound just got better because I just double-checked it and I officially said it. But I mean, we should bounce, but even if we don't, I mean, there's support right there. There's really not much to say right now. Let me see if, I mean, there was a trade on the breakout, and there was a trade. Oh, now I know what that line was. That line was my long entry, but that long entry got wiped out by this one. So according to this indicator, you go long right here on the 2 at like, what was it, 25.87 or something, and then you're expecting a 9. But then once you got a red, once the color flips, that's it. You get out. You get out here or here. It doesn't matter. And today you actually got a short entry right here on the 4 because it was trading below the 3. In fact, you even got a short entry right here at 24.50. You got a short entry, and the numbers are still red. And this is definitely going to be a red unless we rally all the way up. So, I mean, Bitcoin is tough to short. I mean, I wouldn't short it, but if this indicator gets to a 9, it would be kind of nice if it got to a 9, and that could be, a nice reversal in trend. So
Look, you're at support. I mean, you can assume that it will bounce, but if it doesn't, you got to get the hell out. You can try again down here somewhere between the triangle and the line. I don't really care about the hourly. The hourly is all over the place. I'm not even going to bother. Oh yeah, so I don't even know. I'm kind of tired. I don't even know if I talked about this, but this is monthly candles, and I use monthly candles on Mt. Gox to kind of teach people about this indicator because it's like perfect. It starts with the first trade in Bitcoin on Mt. Gox, and then it gives you this green 9 count to tell you to sell right here on the first bubble on the 9, and then it had a 1 to 4 candle pullback, and then it started the 13 count on the bottom, telling you to take your profit on the 13, but it also told you to take your profit on the 9, and then it told you to get back in your trade to the bull side right here on the 2, and then it told you to take your profit on the 9 at the all-time high. And then right here on this candle, it told you to go to cash, but you would have lost all your money anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered if you stayed in Gox. So it's just a way I used to teach this indicator to people and how it works. Close that. Litecoin. People have been asking me about Litecoin. So let's talk about Litecoin. It looks good. You had the all-time high close on a weekly candle last week. Was it the all-time high close? I believe it was. Oh, no, it wasn't. Right there. Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't the all-time high. It was a recent, it was a nice high, though. That was the all-time high. So you're good. I mean, you had a double top right here intra-week. You have a brand new candle here. It looks great. I mean, Litecoin against Bitcoin looks bullish to me. Let's throw the numerical indicator up. You're on a 5, right? I mean, there's your 9. Your 9 told you to take your profit. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4 candle pullback, and then boom, you go back up. So now you have, and now you're starting your 13 countdown on the bottom. You're at a 5, and you're in this trade as of the 2, waiting for another 9 to take your profit. I mean, if you're an altcoin trader, this chart is telling me, and look, it even bottomed at a 13, telling you that the downtrend was exhausted, and it almost made it to a 9. Damn, came up 1 week shy. 1 week shy. But this short trade told you to go to cash. Came up 1 week shy, but this 13 told you to take your profit from the short trade, and ignore these 2 green numbers. That's a bug. Yeah, and then you're right. You rode this up from a 2 up, according to this indicator, and you're bullish. I'm bullish. I'm still holding out to all those Litecoin donations, guys. Feel free to give me more. I'll accept them. I'll hold on to the Litecoin. All right, so here's the daily. The daily Litecoin is on a cup and handle, which has a target of almost 0.03. It's still near the top. I mean, the daily is also bullish. I know your momentum is all the way up, but you know it's already above this trend. It's already above that trend. I mean, it's good. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So I had a private client call me, and I think that private client's watching right now because I already saw him in the group chat. And he asked me to put my numerical indicators. Actually, I don't know if the last time I put this up here, but I've never, until about 2 days ago or 3 days ago when the private client called me, I have never pulled up the numerical indicator on Litecoin daily chart, on this chart, Litecoin against Bitcoin. Never did it because it wasn't here. I had to like go in indicators and I had to open it up, right? So he asked me to take a look. So I did. I opened it up. And it's absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe it. Look, it gave me a daily high right here on the 9. There was a weekly 9 and a daily 9. And there was a green 13. So this 13 told you to take profit. This green 9 told you to take profit. And boom, we started to go down off the 9 right there. And then when this thing wrapped all the way around, once again, there's your 9. Again, you know, there's your 9. Again, this green count on the bottom is a bug. I know it's a bug. Hopefully somebody can help me fix the code. Boom, 9. Sell signal. Take your profit signal. Boom. And then we start a bearish countdown. We got a 9, and then boom, we started to go up. We made it to an 8, just missed the 9. So we're probably going to try again to get that 9 to the upside. But when I saw this 9 and this 9 literally right near the highs, I'm like, oh my God. And then the person asked me a really good question. Tone, why are you not trading? And at this moment, when I saw this on Litecoin and this on Litecoin, and this 9 telling me to buy instead of this 9 telling me to sell, I really thought hard about this question. Why am I not trading this? I really thought about it. Going into this weekend, I thought about it. And I think I have an answer. I mean, I've given this answer a bunch of times, but I had to rethink my answer. Here's the thing, right? Why do we get into trading? When I was working on Wall Street for like 9-10 years, I really wasn't happy. I wasn't happy having a boss. I wasn't happy going to work, taking the bus, going into the city. And when I got that job, I was so happy because that was the first time I ever had a salary like over $40,000. And my starting salary at that job back in like 2007, I think my starting salary was like $65,000 or $70,000 or something like that. And I was like insanely happy. And the guy who I was replacing at that job, I asked him why he was quitting, because he was probably making close to $200,000 a year, and I was replacing him. And he said, when your commute to work becomes more enjoyable than your work, it's time to quit. And I didn't think about it until it was time for me to quit. So when I left to be a trader about 2-3 years ago, that's exactly what I was doing. And now I'm so focused on Bitcoin and making videos, and I'm enjoying this, right? So the reason you get into being a trader is to get rid of the boss, to have freedom, to travel, to work on your own time, and to do what you really like to do. And that's what I'm getting right now by making these videos. Yeah, I can't keep up with everything. And yes, I have 1 million people emailing me. And but the reason is the same, right? Like all the reasons for me to quit my job and to be independent are happening right now without me trading. So maybe I'll go back to trading, but if I go back to trading and I want to be serious about trading, I will have to stop making videos because it's a distraction. If you're going to be a trader, you can't have, answering YouTube comments like all morning, right? You can't wake up in the morning and have 100 Twitter notifications to you, right? If you're only watching my videos and you don't make any videos, you don't know what that's like, right? It's much easier for you to trade and even spend 6 hours a week watching me because you don't spend the other 12 to 20 hours a week answering people's questions between all kinds of mediums and friends and everything, right? Reaching out to you. So I can't put in the kind of, focus on trading, which is why I'm taking a break from trading. But the reasons that I got into trading are still there with what I'm currently doing. The fact that I don't have a boss, the fact that I can get up and leave, I can go to any country, I can travel, I can enjoy life, and I am having fun making these videos and having a lot of people following me. And I'm now making enough money with consulting that I can pay my bills. And yeah, it's probably not the kind of money I'd be making if I was a successful trader, but the only way to be a successful trader is to remove all distractions. And right now, I have way too many distractions to be a successful trader. So I'm taking a break from that. I will trade during earnings season. I still have my strategies. I will give them one more run and see how I do. And that starts this week, actually. So, which again creates a problem of when am I going to set up my miner. Anyway, so that's just my answer to that question. Here is the hourly Litecoin chart, and there's not much here. I mean, here is my support resistance zone. We're flirting in it. It can honestly go either way, but your moving average is trending up, and Litecoin looks good. I mean, Litecoin should do well. I mean, all of these metrics. I mean, the daily isn't great, but there's no sell here yet. I mean, this one told you to go to cash, and then if today we go below this candle, then it becomes a potential short. But to me, Litecoin still looks good, and the weekly looks really good. One quick word on Monero. I mean, I'm still looking at this triangle and waiting for Monero to pop to the upside. I don't have any Monero. I'm debating whether I should put in a Monero QR code for donations, only because I do think that this triangle has a chance to break out. And you're stuck in this zone. Once you get to the top, it'll probably bust out. So I'm bullish Monero without any positions in Monero. All right, I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. Oh, wait, not everything I wanted to say. So, yeah, hey guys, the crypto scam, Ethereum. So I had a co-host who was a backup for, so my original co-host didn't do it. And then I had a backup, and then the backup didn't do it. And then I got another backup, and then that backup changed his mind. Like, I don't have anybody to do the next episode of Ethereum with. I honestly don't. There is like maybe 7 people I want to do this episode with, and all of them have either declined or don't even like are so mad at the fact that Ethereum isn't zero yet. They don't even want to think about it. Like, I mean, I may reach out to, a person who's like the only one left that fits my criteria. Here's my criteria to do the next episode of Crypto Scam Ethereum with. You have to be a developer. You have to be in cryptocurrency before the Ethereum crowd sale. And you had to, like the pre-sale, like the year before Ethereum launched. You had to be in this space and a developer. And you had to have seen Ethereum for the insanity that it was before the pre-sale, and never, ever, ever had owned a single Ethereum, or by choice, never owned a single Ethereum, right? So those were my criteria. And I'm almost out of people because no one really wants to be on camera talking about what they know in their heart Ethereum really is, because it's a difficult position, right? You really put yourself on the line. You open yourself to infinite number of trolls, and sometimes it's just not worth it. I mean, I deal with it, but not everybody wants to. So until I can find a competent co-host, the podcast is slightly on hold. I will reach out to one more person that fits my criteria, and hopefully I can finally get this episode out of the way. Ethereum Part 2. The use cases of Ethereum. Okay. Okay. So if I go to my videos, so this is what I mean about distractions. So if you look at this, if you look at the cover, and I talked about this in last video. You know what? I don't even know where it is. Is that it? No, it's been a venture at a time. Anyway, I can't find that picture now, but look, I called Peter Will slush. Honest mistake. I really thought that was slush. I mean, I've met both of them several times, and I really thought that was slush. And like 10 people reached out to me and like to correct me, and they're absolutely right. But I mean, that's time, right? That's time that a trader doesn't have to deal with. Like everything you say gets scrutinized. I called gold Bitcoin twice on this video or the previous video, and like 30 people had to let me know about it. Like, and again, this is just time out of your day. So this is what you guys have to realize what happens when you're a content creator. And this video has already gone on for an hour, so I really do need to get to your Q&A. Oh, okay. My tabs got. All right. So here's my. So here's what I did. So here's what took me 24 hours. Getting this to be green was not simple, guys. It really wasn't. I know everyone says how easy this shit is. It wasn't easy. Like this. Oh, whoa. What's going on here? Still getting used to me. Getting this part to be green on my IP address was not trivial, guys. This literally took me half a day. Setting up your own full node to be open to port 833 for me personally was a nightmare. I have never before this day dealt with router settings in this way, anywhere near this shape or form. And I do want to make a tutorial about helping people out doing this. And the tutorial on the website was pretty good. It was pretty good. But I literally bought a brand new router. It was like a $150 router. It had infinite amount of settings. And I was at my cabin. We had like a whole family outing there. I had like 40 freaking devices connected to this router. And I was like messing with it. I shut down the internet on everybody like 3 times this weekend. This was not trivial for me. And maybe it means I'm not all that bright. But I mean, I got it. And now everyone is telling me they're pretty certain I just opened up my router to infinite number of hacks of my network at the cabin. And I have no idea. Like, this is not my specialty. My specialty is finance and trading and analysis, right? My specialty is not networking. So this tells me that running your own node is not all that trivial. And that's a little unfortunate because I think everyone should be running a node. Also, I'm still personally a little confused. I am simply signaling for SegWit2x. I'm signaling for it. I'm not enforcing it as far as I know. So I still need to figure out where do I go and download the client that actually enforces segregated witness BIP 148. I think it's a whole other client. So I need to update my Bitcoin node. My Bitcoin node is right here in this picture. There's my Bitcoin node right up there. So what was I doing this weekend? So my node is connected to this controller. This controller is connected to my router with the yellow Ethernet line. Gotta get my shapes here. Right there, right? So there's my Ethernet line going to my router, directly connected into the Avalon controller. The controller is connected to, right? Can't really see it. I don't really want to zoom in either. So the controller is connected to the miner right here, and it's connected to the laptop. So all of these green, those green lights, they're telling me that they're getting a power because you have to buy the power supply separately. There's my power supply right there. The power supply is obviously connected to the outlet. The power supply then connects to the miner. So you can also see that the miner is green. You see this green line, and then you see the green background. And that is different than the blue background you see over here. Now, some of you are experts in this, right? I'm totally new to this. I don't want to be mining, but I have to. The current system is forcing me to, right? So you see right here that it's blue. Oh wow, blue on blue does not work at all. Let me get like yellow color, right? So you see right here that it's blue, and right here you see that it's green. From my understanding, from reading the manuals and the Canon website, is blue means it's actually mining, and green means it's in like some kind of a waiting stage. So in my case, the color kept flip-flopping back and forth. It would be green for like 10, 15 minutes, then it would be blue for like 20 minutes, then it would be green for like 10, 15 minutes. So it was like going back and forth, right? But I have not been able to set up the software for the controller. So I turn on the miner. The miner is mining, but I have no clue what it's doing. Like I have no idea where it's mining, and I'm not connected to anything, right? I'm not even I'm not fully connected yet. So to me, this was very frustrating, and I was trying to do it today. I will be speaking to the guys at Canon, and they give you directions on how to set up the software, but I wasn't able to figure it out. But again, I'm very new to this. I really know nothing, right? So I'm waiting for them. I mean, they already reached back out to me, so I will probably, I want to. I mean, if I understand it, then I can write up a tutorial. I'll do a video and I'll explain it to everyone. But I personally got very, very frustrated. I spent half a day trying to get control of this miner, and I don't know. Like I have no idea, right? So, and again, I'm also not sure if I just opened up my entire router to hacks. I am running a Windows machine. I am not going to Linux, so save your comments. So maybe I can talk to someone about that, and I don't want to expose my IP address either to the world. Yeah, so at the end of the day, like at the end of this weekend, I basically got a little bit discouraged about Bitcoin's decentralization. Because if I just spent the whole weekend and I was barely able to set up a full node open on the network, and I wasn't able to fully connect my miner to anything, I mean, what does that say to the average person that wants to participate in the system? So I don't know. I'm sure it's just my frustration, and I'm probably missing something simple. But, you know, it does need to, I would love for the system to be a little simple. Like, I'm not used to messing with software. Like when I plug in my, let me stop screen share at this point. I really need to, I don't really need to share any more screen. Like, look, when I buy a wireless Logitech mouse and I connect it to my computer, it automatically downloads the software that I need to optimize the buttons on this mouse, right? When I plug in a USB stick, it automatically, uploads the software that I need for that USB stick, whether it's an encryption inherent to the USB stick, like SanDisk does, or whatever, right? Like, when I plug in the miner and the controller and stuff, I do expect it to be simple. I expect it to immediately download the software that I need to access that controller. And I tried looking for videos. I tried looking for tutorials. And for me, it was a struggle. And I don't have that kind of time. I don't have 48 free hours to set up a miner. I just don't. And if I can't, and I'm only gonna try to go up to my cabin one more time, because next weekend I have a getaway planned with my friends for a change, and the weekend after that I'm supposed to go to LA for like a week. and then I'm coming back the day before August 1st. So if I don't have time to go back there to set up this miner, then it's unfortunate because it's a $700 miner, $100 controller, $100 power supply, you know, a full node that's sitting there that I would like to put to better use. That was another $150 computer that I bought from Amazon, right? So we're talking over $1,000 worth of equipment, plus already, at least 12 plus hours of my time trying to put it all together. And my time's kind of valuable. And I'd rather spend that time in other ways, just getting more Bitcoin and holding on to that Bitcoin and letting other people do this stuff that are real experts in it. And to me, that part is a little bit discouraging. So I don't know. I'm gonna. I mean, I have a lot of connections, and people will watch this video, and I'm not gonna trust a random person to help me set it up. So I'm either gonna trust someone involved in selling me that equipment, or I'm gonna trust, you know, my trusted friends to do like a video and like, you know, maybe go live from next time I go to the cabin to help me set it all up. But I have to say, it wasn't trivial, and I did get frustrated. So I'm sure I'll set it up, and I'm also frustrated with the Bitcoin environment in general, and what's going on with all this stuff. But the price is hanging in there, so it's telling me I shouldn't worry too much about it. Right, like, look, I'm already getting comments, and people are like, oh, you need to hit me up. I've been mining since 2014. And look, that's true, but you're an anonymous person on YouTube. So I can't hit you up. Like, you can be an expert, but if I don't know you and you're not invested in helping me get this right, like, for example, Canon, who I got the miner from, I can't hit you up and like open up my IP address to you, right? That's not how it works. I mean, my OPSEC is terrible, but in a way, I've never been hacked, right? Like, so I'm somewhat responsible when it comes to it. All right, so let me get to your questions, guys. I already see a question, so questions start now. Ledger X looks like it's going to be approved for crypto futures. We already have crypto futures. I mean, they kind of suck, but we have them. I mean, BitMEX has it. OKCoin has it. I mean, crypto futures just leverage Bitcoin trading. Crypto futures is nothing special. If they can get approved for Bitcoin options, that would be something. But Ledger X having Bitcoin futures is kind of irrelevant. Am I more bullish Litecoin or Monero over the next 2 to 3 months? Probably a little more bullish Litecoin than Monero. Any random thoughts on silver? You joined the video late. I talked about silver for like 15 minutes. Please rewind the video. Oh, of course I'm not. I mean, I've admitted 1,000 times I'm not the most technical guy. That's not a secret at all. Yeah, I don't want to go and buy a Raspberry Pi, guys. I have a node. Why do I need to spend more money on a Raspberry Pi? Why do I need another piece of equipment? And why do I need to figure out? And then I have to go buy a memory card, like an SD card for the Raspberry Pi. And now I gotta, you know, like, why? I just paid $150 for a laptop to run a full node on. Why can't I just use that? Like, I don't know. What do I think about Reggie Middleton's Veritasium? I mean, look, Reggie's a friend of mine. I don't like the fact that he's doing it. That's as far as I'll comment on it. Like, if he would have asked me for my advice, I would have told him not to do it. But how do you give up millions and millions of dollars, right? Like, I mean, I don't like it, but that's just me. I have no idea. I don't know when the cup and handle is going to bust upwards on Litecoin, but I mean, it should any day. I mean, that's what the technicals are saying. I wouldn't short anything, guys. Shorting in crypto is markets will stay irrational longer than they'll stay liquid, right? I mean, I'm famously known for saying Ethereum will never go above $2, right? And look at it, hit like 400. So, I mean, you don't short. I mean, I know Ethereum's a scam, and I know Ethereum's going to zero, but like I would never. Even if it went to 1,000 tomorrow, I wouldn't short it. Like it can go to 2,000 the next day. Like who the hell knows? No, Ethereum is way riskier than shorting Bitcoin. Let me finish reading the question. Would you short Ethereum, or do you consider it as risky as shorting Bitcoin? No, I consider shorting Ethereum 10 times riskier than shorting Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not as volatile as Ethereum. So you can short Ethereum, but then Ethereum doubles the next day, and then Ethereum falls 80% the day after that. Bitcoin isn't going to do that, right? So shorting Bitcoin is 100 times safer than shorting Ethereum, because Bitcoin ain't going to double in one day, but Ethereum can. No, you don't short this shit. All right, next question. When do you think Litecoin will reach 0.03? Guys, it's very difficult to predict price and time. That's why no one really does it. I have no idea when, but the technical chart says that it should get there. It can take a week. It can take 6 months. Like nobody knows. I can do a time analysis on Ethereum and spit out a bunch of critical dates, but they don't necessarily mean price highs and lows. They could also mean like revolutionary protocol changes. Like my critical date on Bitcoin is August 11th of this year, and that date has been in print since 2014, right? So that date doesn't have to correspond to a price high or low. It just means it's important. I did ask Chris Ellis, but like time differences, right? I mean, he's in the UK. When I asked him, it was already way late over there. I'll text him again. I'll try and do a phone call with him. Maybe I'll go back to my cabin next Friday morning, and maybe I'll get there at like 8 a.m. I'll leave my house at like 5 a.m. I'll get there at like 8 a.m. It'll be afternoon over in the UK with Chris Ellis, if he's available to do a video conference call with me, and then maybe he'll help me set it all up. We'll see. Yeah, of course. If I said I want to signal SegWit2x, that just means I'm tired, and I'm tired of talking about SegWit2x. I obviously mean signal for BIP148 to enforce SegWit. I despise SegWit2x. Yeah, if I said that, I guarantee you that would be on expect to see that clip. They're gonna cut that out. The cesspool of Reddit, occasionally referred to as RBTC, they're gonna take that segment. If I said use the node to signal for SegWit2x, they will take that segment. They're gonna put it on without any context on their cesspool, and they're gonna have a whole thread about how Tone supports SegWit2x, when in reality, I might be one of the reasons why Barry Silbert is no longer on Twitter, because I gave him a really hard time along with everybody else. You have to be an incompetent fool to run SegWit2x software. So the Chinese miners will probably do it. All right, next. Next question. Will I go to the next big Toronto meetup? I don't know. Is that the one that's supposed to be on August 14th? I haven't really had time to think about it. I don't know. We'll see. You know, it's a 9-hour. It was a 9-hour drive to Toronto last time. I don't know. I should fly, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Remind me though, Michael, who's asking me that. Yeah, remind me about Toronto. After August 1st. I'm assuming you're talking about the August 14th event. Is trading the numbers 8, 9, and 13 only a good idea? Yeah, that's how some people trade it. Some people only trade, not even the 8s. Some people only trade 9s and 13s. I like to trade the 2s and the 3s into the 9 when I used to trade. Fake Satoshi says that if you can't afford a $20,000 node, to piss off. Yeah, no, I can't afford a $20,000 node, guys. That's ridiculous. I have a $150 node and $1,000 in mining equipment, but I need to get it, up and running. Right. Like I said, we have futures, guys. They're unregulated, so LedgerX is going to be more responsible with their futures, but that's not a big deal. Like, futures are not a big deal. Futures are just leveraged trades. I mean, there's nothing there, right? Like, I know futures inside and out. I used to trade futures. Options, unless they can get options, they're not innovating in the space. Goldman Sachs analysis is credible. It's as credible as any other analysis. What is the RSI indicator ratio for daily trade for short or cash? I don't like to short crypto, guys. Like, I don't recommend to short crypto. It's unpredictable. You can go long and go to cash, but shorting it is dangerous. I'm only looking for questions to start with the word question. It's the only way I can kind of tell stuff apart. Do I think Litecoin will go to 0 or go up alongside Bitcoin? I think eventually Litecoin will stay fairly low. It's not going to go to 0. Like, one Litecoin can still be like 40, 50 bucks, but it's going to be like, a tiny fraction of the value of Bitcoin. So it's like, if Bitcoin ever goes to like 50,000, 100,000, Litecoin isn't going to be 1,000. Litecoin will still be, in the hundreds. So Litecoin versus Bitcoin is going to remain Litecoin versus Bitcoin is not going to keep going up, right? Like, eventually Litecoin versus Bitcoin will start to fall again. If Bitcoin succeeds, there's no need for any other crypto, guys. But they'll be around as test nets just in case. But it's not actually going to be used for commerce. Yeah, someone's asking me if I can recommend any books or websites. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to do it right now because I only have 10 more minutes before I'm done with this video. But yeah, people have been reaching out to me to learn the basics of trading. I talk about the basics technical analysis. I send them a bunch of links to some of the sources. But the sources are very old because back when I was learning how to trade, internet was fairly new and YouTube was very new. It was like in early 2000s. So my favorite resources are the resources that taught me, and there is probably way better resources on the web. I just don't know what they are. But I can recommend you what I know. But yeah, some people have been reaching out for consulting hours. Oh yeah, I haven't even mentioned it yet. So I'm always available for consulting at 0.1 Bitcoins per hour. And I'm usually available fairly quickly. Like, I make time for that. Like, I drop what I'm doing and we'll do a Skype call, video Skype call, share screen. If I'm competent in what I'm answering you, yeah. But if you're calling me how to set up your miner, I wouldn't take the call. Like, I wouldn't take your money to help you set up a miner because I clearly can't do it. But if it's something that I know what I'm doing, then sure. Why not support more initiatives like gigawatt hosting, mining? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what gigawatt hosted mining is. I would not let anyone mine on my behalf. Like, I would never give BitClub a dime. I would never give Genesis Mining a dime. I think they're problematic. I mean, look, BitClub buys all of their equipment from Jihan. So if BitClub is like 20% of the network and you think you're mining, you're not mining, they're mining, right? So BitClub will do whatever the hell BitMain wants because they're their supplier. Because if BitMain stops supplying BitClub, that they become a Ponzi scheme that day, which is why I've always called BitClub a soon-to-be Ponzi scheme, because that's the only obvious conclusion. A lot of alt questions. Tone, do you think alts, Monero USD especially, can still break the triangle to the upside even if Bitcoin takes a big hit? Or do you think alts will tank with Bitcoin? Alts will probably tank with Bitcoin, but yeah, Monero and Litecoin can still make good money versus Bitcoin, even if Bitcoin tanks and everything tanks. Why 811 and not 810? You have to wait for my article. I'll explain it. Or go find the 2014 article, right? I don't have it handy. Go to last video. Last video, I talked about it. Why 811? Let's see. How hot is the room I'm mining in? It's virtually outdoors. It's like a netted porch. So I'm practically mining outdoors. It's like an outdoor enclosed room. Do you think SegWit 2x is dead on arrival? No, it's dead after arrival. SegWit 2x might live long enough to get a SegWit, and then it's dead. But it will never really die, right? I mean, there's people still running Bitcoin Classic nodes. People are still running and pushing for XT. These things never die, right? Like Aurora Coin is still around. I mean, Jeff Garzik and Barry Silbert are still going to be pushing this shit into a hard fork. So, but yeah. What is the first major purchase you will make with your first Bitcoin sale? Mine is a camper van. I don't know, guys. I honestly haven't thought that far ahead. I'll probably try and pay off the apartment you see me sitting in. If Bitcoin goes to like $10,000 and above, I'll probably, try to pay off the apartment. Any book on the TD indicator? Yeah. Google TD indicator PDF, and you'll probably be able to swipe a 250-page book. I mean, find out what the indicator is really called. Google it with the letters PDF after it, and somewhere on the first page of Google, you'll be able to download a 250-page book. All right, let's see here. Does Conor McGregor have a chance against Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he does, because boxing is fixed. Let me. Okay, I was a huge boxing fan, guys. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I don't have a million questions. I was a huge boxing fan. Like, there was a time where I saw every significant fight for like 5 years straight. And the last fight I watched in full, well, sorry, the last fight I watched in full was Pacquiao Mayweather, only because I have a bunch of Filipino friends and they threw a big party. Pacquiao lost that fight legitimately. The fight before that I watched was the last fight. I was watching so much boxing. I was a huge boxing fan. I even like tried boxing a little bit when I was younger, but that shit is hard. When I was watching boxing, when I was big into boxing, the last fight I saw was the Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley Jr., I think. I think that fight was like 5 years ago or something like that now. And Pacquiao won that fight. I mean, you had to be like blind in both eyes to give the decision to Timothy Bradley. And Timothy Bradley got that decision. And that was the last fight I saw. And I said, you know what? This is bullshit. I can't watch this anymore. So as of that fight, I mean, we all knew boxing was fixed. But when you watch a fight where, your guy clearly wins about 10 rounds and loses the fight on a decision, it makes you not want to watch the sport anymore. So does Conor McGregor have a chance to beat Floyd Mayweather? Yeah, there's enough money out there that, yeah, he can win. I no longer I now think boxing is totally fixed, that anybody can win any fight. But in reality, no. In reality, Floyd Mayweather is supposed to win every round. Do you consider the potential hard fork or any fork of Bitcoin as delusion? Yeah, kinda. I mean, it will take me out of the space. A contentious Bitcoin hard fork that is sustainable, creating 2 Bitcoins, will never have me talk publicly about Bitcoin again, right? So in order for me to stay optimistic, I'm going to say, yeah, it's complete delusion. It's not going to happen. There is not going to be a hard fork. And after SegWit, there may not even be another soft fork, possibly ever, because of this. All right, I got about 3 more minutes, guys. Let me see if I can go through your questions quickly. Because there was so much trouble getting SegWit in, this may be the last soft fork Bitcoin ever has because of the contentious, because of all the contention. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So this is why SegWit needs to fix all of these bugs, because it's very possible all changes going forward are going to be like minor bugs. There's not going to be anything major like SegWit again. Everything else is going to be a layer on top, and we'll see which layers are accepted and which aren't. There's no way there's going to be a hard fork. Not after this. Not after this. The worry is going to come is when it's time to change proof of work to make it, not to eliminate the miners, but if we need stronger encryption, if governments are, getting machines that can actually fuck with SHA-256, and Bitcoin needs to upgrade to a stronger encryption, that may need a hard fork. And if that hard fork is contentious to increase security of Bitcoin, then it's a problem. It's a big problem. So we'll see what happens. Bitcoin is still an experiment. And I am hoping that the price of Bitcoin gets high enough for me to cash some out. And because I'm optimistic about Bitcoin, but there are numerous things that are worrying me in the space. And the fact that, a bunch of clowns can come this close to breaking Bitcoin in 2. What the hell are we going to do when we're facing real opposition? It's bad. The amount of people that anyway, it's just, it is frustrating. It's very frustrating. And the frustration kind of doubles when I'm having difficulty setting up a miner to help the network. And I'm sure I'll figure it out, guys. It's just my minor frustration. it's challenging. You know, like there's no blame going to like the mining companies or anything like that. It's challenging. Guys, I don't want 25 cents per questions. I don't want to spam my Bitcoin accounts. I don't need 25 cents per question, right? Like if you can't donate me like $10, then it's okay. Like it's okay. I don't need the money that badly, right? I'm doing consulting. I only like doing consulting with people that, you know, have money. Like if you only have like 1 Bitcoin to your name, and you tell me all you have is like 1 Bitcoin, and that's all you can afford, I will not do a consulting session with you for 0.1 Bitcoin per hour, because you're better off just holding on to that 0.1 Bitcoin and not paying me for anything I have to say, right? Like I only want to take that 0.1 Bitcoin per hour from people that have like 10 Bitcoins that they're trading with or more, right? Like I want high net worth individuals to seek my consulting service. I'm not looking for you know, people that are struggling financially. That's not what I'm here for. But no, I don't want people paying 25 cents a question. That's definitely not it. Let's see what else we got. Could the entire user-activated soft fork or SegWit2x fiasco just be geared to keep Bitcoin low at the moment and accumulate? Probably not. I don't think so. I mean, basically, it's kind of like saying that it's like saying the government is so like irresponsible, and yet they manage to, you know, keep the price of gold down, right? It's like either the government is irresponsible or the government knows what they're doing, right? You can't have it both ways. So these people that are fighting for SegWit2x, like no, I don't think that they know what they're doing, actually. Like I believe that they're incompetent, and in order for them to do this on purpose, to keep the price down, to accumulate more Bitcoin, it means that they're competent. But to me, that's a contradiction. So no. You've talked about gold a lot lately. What do you think about silver? Again, I talked about silver in this video for about 10 to 15 minutes. Even I pulled up the charts. Please rewind the video, and you will watch me talk about silver in the video. Would you recommend a whale to go to all cash now and come back in after April 1st? No. No. I would recommend a whale or someone trading 1 Bitcoin, the same thing. I would give them the same advice. And what I saw in the Bitcoin charts, the long-term view is to stay in cash. The short-term view is actually on the verge of short. So sure, but I'm not saying they have to come back after August 1st. They would come back when charts are saying it's time to come back, right? If you're a technical trader, you're a technical trader, whether you're a whale or a noob. I don't want to think about Zcash, guys. I'm not going to answer. What % odds do you give Bitcoin of having a hard fork? A sustained hard fork? I don't know, 5% maybe. Not much. I'm not expecting a hard fork, guys. Can you tell us what you discussed with the crew at the WCN 2-hour closed door meeting yesterday? I mean, we thought about, like, you know, live streaming the entire meeting. That was the original plan. We kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it and then go live. And then, I mean, we just mostly talked about, should we or shouldn't we have ads turned on? What should we do with the shows? How should we structure the shows? How should we find some new talent? Because remember, we can't pay anyone, right? Like the World Crypto Network. What works with the shows? What doesn't? Can we adjust the time of the shows, like when the shows air? Should we adjust the length of the shows? It's just like these kinds of discussions, right? Like, should we try to inquire for sponsors? I mean, nothing really serious. I mean, look, the World Crypto Network works on donations. We decided to turn ads off for now. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, there's really not much to say. All right, guys, I think I need to wrap up. I'm not signaling for SegWit 2x, guys. It goes against everything I stand for. Why pay off mortgage and give up tax deductions? I don't make much money, guys. I have no, you can only deduct from taxes when you make money. If I don't make any money, then like, what am I deducting? That was the point. I also want to pay off the condo, right? I mean, look, if I keep holding everything in Bitcoin and then Bitcoin goes to $10,000 and I don't like sell, and then Bitcoin goes to zero, and now I owe, over $100,000 in my condo, and I'm like, damn, it kind of sucks. I have to go find a job again. I had barbecue earlier. No, it's already 11 p.m. here. I'm not going to eat. Am I bearish or bullish? I'm neutral right now. What is the level I'm going to cash out? I don't know yet. I'll let you guys know. I mean, look, my audience will be the first to know. You'll probably know before I cash out. I'll keep you guys posted. Don't worry. Unless I stop doing videos. Do I think Barry Silver wants a hard fork for Bitcoin? Of course he does. I know he does. Absolutely, he wants a hard fork. It's his biggest money maker, hard fork. Eric Voorhees too, his biggest money maker at Shapeshift, hard fork Bitcoin. Yeah, Barry Silver is going to make an arm. He's making a killing right now of Ethereum Classic. Some people love a hard fork. Is SegWit still sell the news? No. It's only sell the news when it pumps into the news, right? We've already had 4 weeks of a pullback, so it's no longer sell the news event, right? If Bitcoin goes to over $3,000 on July 29th, then it can become a sell the news. It's not a sell the news if it's already been selling like months before the event. I'm not going to comment on the moon landing of 1969. It's actually also irrelevant whether we did or didn't land on the moon. I believe that we did, but if we didn't, I really couldn't care less. I wasn't even born. Slush Pool should be able to assist me in the miner setup. Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe I should reach out to Slush. I wouldn't short Ethereum Classic. I think it's a better long than Ethereum. Barry Silver is going to pump it for you. All right, guys. On this note, I need to call it a night. It's already past 11 p.m. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I'll try and do one of these again on Wednesday. And we'll see where we stand. Okay? Talk to you all later. Have a good night.